After many long hours of study, I've compiled a list of the top 10 artificial intelligence technologies of 2023 that have the most promising prospects for dramatically altering our daily lives. Since the launching of ChatGPT during the summer, a plethora of other programs have emerged. So that the video is not too long, I decided to divide it into two parts of 5 top AI of 2023. So let's start. They have a wide range of bizarre capabilities. You may use these resources to launch your own company. Get 5 times as much done in half the time with the help of some of these helpful tools and have a little fun while you're doing it. First of all, I'd love it if you could leave a comment since I put a lot of time into research and editing and shooting this video, and I'd love to hear what you think. Let's go right into the first 5 mind-blowing AI tools without further ado. Have you ever wished you could utilize GPT in a talk when you were out and about? Then you'll love the first artificial intelligence tool I'll show you. It's one of my favorites, so you wouldn't miss it. I made sure it was towards the top of the list. Merlin is my go-to artificial intelligence tool. 1. In the following sections, I will demonstrate how to set up and utilize Merlin to its full potential. But before we get into that, I want to scroll down and show you a few examples of how it may be put to use. First of all, it can quickly and easily summarize the contents of any page. As a result, you are free to choose any text you want for highlighting. You may have Merlin summarize the text by using the shortcut key for Activate Merlin. As you go down, it will provide a summary of the options you have chosen. Plus, it's tailored to your specific needs, so it's almost like having a virtual assistant at your beck and call. This has saved me a lot of time and helps me avoid sending as many emails. There are now a plethora of different applications. You're free to look them over on your own time, but for the time being, I'll walk you through getting Merlin set up and running. Getting started with Merlin is as simple as visiting their website, adding Chrome, and then signing in with the Google account you're using at the time. Once you've signed in, the Add to Chrome button will take you to the Chrome web shop. Click the blue Add to Chrome button. After that, it'll direct you to this introduction page and explain all you need to know. I usually start by pinning this to my pinned extensions in the top right corner. This means you may experiment with it on any text. If you want to modify the keyboard shortcut you use to launch Merlin just right, click on the icon you have it pinned to and choose Change Shortcut. And all of your Chrome icons can be found right here. However, if you track down Merlin, you may alter this to your liking. Your own custom shortcut keys may be entered. I'm going to switch it such that pressing curl text saves and refreshes the page in the background when you close this Extensions tab. Let's read a more in-depth piece to get to the bottom of this. So, I stumbled through this piece on a cryptocurrency and have decided to implement it here using Merlin. To generate a summary of this passage, I will first select the paragraph in question and then use my shortcut Ctrl-X to bring up Merlin. I'm about to push the Enter key, and you can see that Merlin has already provided a detailed explanation of what this is all about. It reveals everything said in this article and more, so you can begin to grasp Merlin's potential and begin envisioning practical applications right now. This makes it one of my favorite tools since I can rely on it anytime I have a need. It's similar to using ChatGPT when mobile, but without the need to switch tabs. Overall, it was a fantastic addition. Do you ever find yourself curious about the service and privacy regulations but lacking the will to really read them? Perhaps you're in possession of a legal document that you're having trouble deciphering? Here we bring up our second artificial intelligence product, the Legalese Decoder. After testing it out for a few minutes, I was rather impressed when I stumbled onto it. What Legalese Decoder does is translate legal papers describing services into plain English and provide explanations that a layperson may comprehend. So, let me give you a brief example. That way, I'm reading Google's policies. I'm going to copy and paste it in the Legalese right now. Even while this isn't a legal document per, it can nevertheless translate lengthy sentences like this one. If you press the decoder button, a message asking you to wait while it gives you a brief explanation will appear. And it does make some sense. Quickly, I completed this. It costs nothing at all. The Pro version requires a paid subscription if you want to submit lengthier papers. But if you simply want to know what you're consenting to when downloading an app or doing anything else online, this is a fantastic resource. You can just copy and paste some text and then you can read about it and it will make sense. This is a fantastic resource, and the fact that it's free is even better. But it may cause you to wonder whether AI may one day replace human attorneys. Feel free to share your thoughts here. The third tool is an excellent starting point if you've ever had trouble developing content, or if you want to begin doing so. 3 artificial intelligence tools. Runway claims to be the next generation content creation suite. And trust me, I've seen and used it for myself. It's gorgeous. No offense. The free trial option is a great perk of Runway. After you join up, you'll be led to a dashboard that looks much like this one. I'm already signed in. All the things you've begun may be found here. And if you're producing content, you can establish a great routine for yourself. However, the coolest part is that when you visit Magic Tools, you can see all of the content production tools they provide. I've seen a few of these and they're awesome, believe me. A rather remarkable one, I must say. It's been done in previous vids I've watched. Now I will demonstrate. This one is currently in the painting phase. This is really insane. It can remove any object or person from a movie and keep them out of frame for the duration of the new backdrop it creates. This is very amazing to see in action. Even though it says beta, I haven't found that many blunders in it yet. I'm going to use some of the sample materials, namely this day trip 1, and drop it into the timeline to demonstrate. After the clip has been added to the timeline, you may play it by using the spacebar. I can't have this garbage can here. The area above the garbage can doesn't need anything fancy. After drawing the outline, I'll fill it in with the appropriate colors. Now when I let go, it'll do what I said it would do in painting. Load a new movie in which the trash can is absent. And as you can see, the garbage can vanished into thin air and was replaced with scenery. Therefore, it is not ideal. Despite some remaining bugs, this is quite powerful considering it must iteratively update the backdrop frames, one at a time in under 5 seconds. Now, let's see if we can remove this individual from this photo. I'm not sure how this is going to pan out at this point, but I'm simply going to cut this guy off. Okay, that's all, I guess. And now a fresh video will play without her. I have no idea how this will seem. A static backdrop would complement this much better, in my opinion. Even if the shadow is still visible, we're going to push play nonetheless since it does a decent job if you're doing a talking video like I am and don't want anything in the backdrop. I didn't clip off the shadow, so it's a bit fuzzy and there's still some darkness in the picture. Wow, that's great for public relations. A ghost is what they are communicating with. Well, this certainly packs a punch. This is still under beta testing. When it comes to Runway equipment, this is one of my favorites to use and see others using. But they also have a huge variety of other items. You may delete the current photographs and upload new ones thanks to the handy erase and replace function. With their backdrop remix, you may replace the background with something entirely new. There are also a great many additional items available. Let's give text a shot as a 3D texture, and I'll simply write in what it asks for to demonstrate. Think I'll simply enter Pebbles texture and see if it makes a 3D texture for me. I'm unable to see a scenario in which this might be useful, but it seems like a neat tool anyway. It gave me a stone texture, and you can see that I can move and toss this object with my mouse. It's fun to play about with, and I see that I can adjust the brightness of this area, the orientation of that light, and the layout of the tiles. That's intriguing in its own way. I can make it into a ball that will give you a confusing mental impression. That's awesome, I'll give you that. It's quite cool that you can make your own photos like this whenever you need a backdrop or anything similar. I've just shown you 2 of the suite's 30+ tools for making content. Like DALL-E 2, you may produce portraits, animals, remove backgrounds, and convert text to images. There's a lot of potential in this suite, and I can't wait to put it to use in the creation of new materials. Have you ever considered starting a company but been put off because you lack the initial resources to create a logo, brand, etc.? No need to keep looking. Tool number 4 has got all your logo and brand identity requirements covered in a flash. Luca, an artificial intelligence tool, is the 4th of its kind. All of these samples are pretty nice and were created using Luca, as you can see on the webpage of Luca. You can utilize their AI-powered platform to create a logo and a brand you're proud of for a fraction of the cost of hiring a professional designer. Now is your chance to cash in on it independently. Check out the rates for logo design on freelancing marketplaces. Take Fiverr as an example. Here, you may quickly and easily create many mock-ups for your customer. Prices per logo start at $10 and go up to $40. You'll be asked a few questions after entering your email address and clicking the Get Started button. You can bet that giving it some colors from your sector will help it learn more about it. And it's really simply curious about the kind of the company you want to launch. So I'll just go ahead and search for consultant now. Take, for example, my intention to launch a consulting firm. I'll keep continuing, and now you'll have ideas about what you enjoy and the kinds of styles you want to go for based on that. You may now browse these logos and choose the ones you like most. I will choose some. Actually, I don't. I don't need elaborate visuals at all. In a way, that's appealing to me. Now that I've selected several logos that I like, I can press the next button. You'll next be asked to choose some colors. If you'd rather let the program decide what looks nice, you may skip this step. I'm going to choose 3 colors and see which one I like most, then press the next button. Your business may be included. Furthermore, we need a catchphrase. I'm sure there are more AI resources that may assist you in your search for a suitable business name. My company's name will be Consulting, which is quite generic. I will leave the slogan field blank and press Continue. It will now prompt you to choose the kinds of symbols you want to use, I'm going to guess that the logo was inspired by one of these. Therefore, consulting is the natural choice for a company startup. Consulting, in my opinion, includes attracting a larger base of paying customers. Therefore, I will proceed with expansion. I've decided on consultant since I value expansion and maybe because I'd want this to emphasize creativity. If I press the Proceed button, they will quickly produce various logos for me. You can see how soon it filled up. It's provided me a slew of pre-made logos and brand identities, and more can be loaded if I need them. This is really insane. In such a short amount of time, you can create a full brand identity. Even if you don't utilize any of the specific elements shown here, you can still use them as a jumping-off point for your own ideas. If you want to change any of the details, just open it up and click the Customize button to access the editor. This is shown. It will provide you with mock-ups and the building blocks of your brand. This is crazy. It takes a lot of imagination to come up with a strategy like this for branding. And when you're attempting to develop your brand, it might take months. Luca just finished a whole branding session in under a minute, and it's going to give you all these various templates. So this is great, but it offers some cutting edge recommendations as well. Let's assume I'm going for a more refined style. Versions that are close to this but more refined are now loading, and they're gorgeous. It will hand you a business card and provide you with many more promotional tools. This is fantastic. So this is only scratching the surface of Luca's abilities. There are many more ways to apply it to your business, and you could even produce a complete branding manual. Have you ever wished to make a course in 5 minutes? Or maybe you learn better with the help of a course, but there isn't one on the subject you want to study. Number 5 is the TutorA tool. This AI-powered platform makes it possible to study any subject through engaging interactive courses, and it also allows users to design their own courses. That's quite neat. I'll go straight into explaining how it works and provide some examples. So, utilizing TutorA is easy, but before you begin, you will need to register in the top right corner, as I have already done. The registration procedure is similar to what you've done before this box appears, which is reminiscent to ChatGPT, but instead asks, what do you want to learn about? This is awesome since it can be used to almost any subject. It might be very specific or rather general. Say, for example, I'm interested in studying landmarks in Eastern Europe, or anything along those lines as a jumping-off point. I intend to enter landmarks in Eastern Europe, and with that, I'm going to press the Enter key. Loading modules is what you can expect it to say. Course modules will be loaded at this point per my prompt. If at all possible, here I have 4 modules that have been loaded, and it's telling me to choose one. Here, I'd like to draw your attention to the headers. Just offer a brief summary of the course's content. I'm interested in photographing famous sites in Eastern Europe. I'm going to touch this box to start the preparation of this module, which will examine the historical sites of Eastern Europe. And as you can see, it has already prompted me with 5 lessons before I'm even done talking. And when I'm done, I can mark them off the list. When I press the button labeled Start Lesson, the first place I go is up to me. And I haven't even gotten to the best part. It provides you with tests based on the material you've read, making it possible to put your knowledge to the test and improve as you go. This is a great solution. In order to learn more about Eastern Europe, I will now begin the introductory lesson by clicking the Start Lesson button. After I'm done, you can check out this in-depth look here. I could simplify things or not. Exhibits, please. Check out a quiz or fire out a question. In a sense, it's the same as having a co-instructor for the class. To help me out, I'll simply click the Simplify button, and then you may press the Mark Complete button. However, suppose I wish to evaluate my progress. Is there anything useful here that I could use? If I want to test myself on whether or not I've read this text, I may just click the Quiz button. In light of this, I'm going to. It's not right, and I'm going to call it what it is. Cultural celebrations. I didn't even read the question, which was probably my first mistake. So, this is an awesome method to get whatever knowledge you want. And I believe this has enormous potential, because I have no doubt that you will soon be capable of developing your own lessons in whatever. There will be more than 5 courses in each module, and the content will delve into much more depth. It's an entertaining method of education, and I like the way it puts artificial intelligence to good use. So today, we've broken down 5 great AI-based helpers. I started using some quite recently, and it makes my work a lot easier and saves time. I recommend you to study them and start using them. You will be pleasantly surprised how much they will make your life easier. In the next video, I will talk about the second part of my list of favorites in AU. Write in comments what AI-based service do you plan to use or already use. See you in the next videos.